Hi everyone, Tarryn from Generation Health here. Welcome to your third week. Congratulations on getting this far. I am trusting that you're feeling awesome, and so today I wanted to just get straight into it and cover protein with you. So there are a few main things that I want to cover off with protein. I'm going to keep it real short and sharp. Most people just assume that protein is good for the growth and repair of muscle tissue. However, protein is a part of every single cell in your body. Every single cell, and it plays a role in growth and repair to do with anything that requires growth and repair, from your muscles to your skin, your hair, your tissue, your ligaments, everything and anything that requires growth and repair. Its second function has a huge amount to do with your immune system. So what we might be associating with protein to do with your muscles is that most people are consuming larger amounts of protein around when they exercise, and that's to help the body to recover from breaking it down when you exercise. Now the thing is that it's not just the growth and repair, but also when you train, especially high intensity exercise, actually suppresses the immune system, and for as long as you are in recovery for, okay, so whether that be a day or whether that be up to 2 days, your immune system will be suppressed, and so protein helps significantly with your immunity. Now, when we look at all the benefits of protein, on top of that it stimulates hormones to burn fat, which is awesome. When we look at all these benefits, we think, oh well, protein's so great, so we should eat more of it. And what I really like to emphasize is that protein is only as good as what your liver can break down. Okay, so when you eat protein, if the liver is not in good health, then it is a secondary function to break protein down so that you can utilize it for its amino acids, so that it can provide the function of growth and repair in your immune system. If the liver is loaded, it will spend more time, remember, in detoxification than in any other secondary function. So when we look at protein, if the liver is a bit sluggish, which none of yours will be, but if the liver is a bit sluggish, then eating protein in large amounts can actually stimulate an insulin response, like you have just consumed sugar, okay? And to the same effect as if you had eaten a refined carbohydrate. So what's good to know is that protein is only as good as the health of your liver. And it will stimulate fat-burning hormones, but only to the degree that your liver can break down protein. Okay, so I'll give you a scenario that I've seen this be the most common. I remember when Atkins, which was the first, I think, of its kind of high protein, low carbohydrate diets. And while most people know that consuming less amounts of carbohydrates, especially the starchy and refined kind, will definitely help your body get into ketosis, which is the perfect condition for fat burning. However, when people look at the quality of carbohydrates that they're eating, most people are not getting their accurate amount of vegetables and good sources of carbohydrates in a day. So say from fruit or vegetables or legumes and things like that. And so when they lower the carbohydrate, really they're lowering the potatoes and the kumaras and those kinds of starches from vegetables, and also the grains and basically the junk food. And so in not increasing the vegetables, simply protein seems to be the feature on the plate, which is where this high protein, low carbohydrate diet started to look like. I'll give you an example. I did a consultation with a guy the other day who's a fighter, so he does kickboxing, and he ate about seven meals a day, but out of his whole day he consumed 1 serving of vegetables, and that came in a sandwich. So I just want to emphasize to you that though protein is super awesome and relevant to your success, it is only as good as the health of the liver, and what the liver likes is your greens and your vegetables, and so make sure that you're getting those 7 servings minimum. While you're on the reset, you're actually getting a lot of those micronutrients in the shakes that you're consuming and in the vitamins, and then you're having the extra serving with your evening meal. Okay, so what I've got up on the board is I want you to just take a look at when the types of protein, how much of it is actually protein based, how much of it is carbohydrate based and fat based, because sometimes when we think that we're eating protein, we're actually eating not very much protein and mostly other things. So we're going to take a look at that to help you in your decisions of what protein sources you can choose when you're making your evening meals and your snacks. Okay, so what we want to be aiming for in your evening meal is about a palm size. Okay, and so take a look at animal protein and fish, and what else have we got there? Take a look at animal protein and fish first. So you'll see there that the protein content is 93% protein for fish, 0% of those are carbohydrates, and 7% is fat. So fish is the most ideal source of protein. As there are no carbohydrates in it, you're not going to stimulate any kind of an insulin response at all. And then you've got animal protein, so like your chicken and your lean meats and things like that. And there we're looking at 59% protein, which is fantastic, and also 0% carbohydrate. But it is 41% fat, and so as much as possible, you want to just be aware that you're aiming for lean sources of animal protein. Then we'll take a look at eggs, which is another awesome protein source. So we've got 29% protein, only 2% carbohydrate, and 69% fat. So I would say that these here are fish, animal protein, and eggs are the best sources of protein, primarily because of their lack of carbohydrate and lower amounts of fat. Not that fat is a bad thing, it's just that we also want to be not over consuming fat. So we'll cover that in a later session. If you are a vegetarian, take a look at nuts, beans, and hummus. Okay, so these three here, nuts, beans, and hummus. A lot of the time you think that you're getting quite high protein. Now, yes, these are high in protein for a vegetarian source. However, you can see there that nuts, 15% protein, but they're actually mostly fat-based. So most of their calories are actually coming from fat and not from protein. So it's a great source of protein, but it's an even better source of fat. Beans. So beans are higher again. They're 23% protein. However, they're 72% carbohydrate. So with your hummus at 45% carbohydrate and your beans at 72%, you just want to watch that portion size. And so while you're doing the reset, while you're doing the transform, with your shakes and your bars, I want you to just aim in your evening meal that it be a palm size of animal sources of protein. If not, and you're wanting to mix it up and add in some vegetarian sources of protein, that's also fantastic. A variety is great, but no more than a half of a cup. Okay, so no more than a half of a cup per day. Now that includes hummus. So if for your afternoon snack you've had vegetable sticks and hummus, then you want to make sure that you incorporate that into your total half a cup serving. So an ideal day might look like your shake for breakfast, and then a piece of fruit for your snack, and then your shake for lunch, and then your afternoon snack would be the bar, and then you might do a serving of palm-sized serving of fish with 2 handfuls of vegetables. So what we're aiming for is like that 2 handful amount. Another thing is you want to eat till you're about 75% full. So like when you're consuming the shakes and it doesn't completely fill you, you have to constantly allow your stomach to empty without expanding. And so you're aiming for 75% full, okay? And those are the main things that I wanted to cover with you today. So take a screenshot of this chart here. And make sure that you are not having too many sources of protein that are high in carbohydrates. Remember to keep that to half of a cup of legumes a day. All right, that's it from me. Have a fantastic week.